Why, hello once again, my fellow space cadets. Dr. Phineas Cortex at your service once again, as we study the stars above. Well, I'm sure all of you know my little friend right here. His name is Jambot Bear. I was just doing some mechanics on him, really repairing his circuit board. But anyhow, enough of that talk. We're going to get right down to the question of the day. Let's see. Now, this question is from a Tyler, and he asks, Dear Dr. Cortex, where does dark matter come from, and how is it created? Well, quite frankly, Tyler, the concept of dark matter is theoretical at the moment, meaning scientists only think that it exists. But in their theories, they have deducted that dark matter consists of 80% of the universe's makeup. Now, dark matter is a type of matter that doesn't have mass, meaning it doesn't have protons, neutrons, electrons, or any sort of substance that makes up a true atom. Or element, really. Now, they say that where these dark matter bits come from, they come from black holes. I'm sure many of you have heard this space phenomenon before. Really intense areas of vacuum. Vacuum in space that not even light itself can escape. But its products, according to scientists, dark matter itself. Anyhow, that was a rather good question, Tyler. But anyhow, let's not dilly-dally, as I always say. Let's get right into our topic. That topic being the Inner Asteroid Belt. I've got some data, as always. Now, the Inner Asteroid Belt was discovered in the early 1800s. And at this time, of course, the term asteroid wasn't invented yet. So, astronomers back then had to pull a word from the Greek language. And asteroid actually comes from a Greek word meaning star-like. So you can say that asteroids are star-like bodies. Now, the Inner Asteroid Belt itself is located between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. As you can see right here in this rough little drawing I made. You can see right here, the S is for the Sun, ME is for Mercury, V is for Venus, E is for Earth, and just the regular M is for the planet Mars. And right down here, you can see the orbit of Jupiter. And these little dots all around are supposed to signify the Inner Asteroid Belt. Now, it's not a full belt, the Inner Asteroid Belt is, for you see there are these clusters right here in these two sections of our solar system. Well, scientists actually deduct that these asteroids are actually being influenced by Jupiter's gravity. These clusters are actually given names, this one being the Trojan cluster, and this cluster being called the Greek cluster. I'm sure many of you have heard the many fables and stories of the Trojans and Greeks that fought each other in ancient history. Now, as far as the composition of the asteroids in the inner belt, they are obviously made of rock, but some of them actually contain ice, and some of them even contain hard metals, such as iron and nickel, stuff that we find on other rocky planets. Now, some of these asteroids are about half a mile long. I'd say about 1 million to 2 million of them. But millions more are much, much smaller than that, being sort of like pebbles compared to the giant planets that we've seen so far. Now, the Inner Asteroid Belt itself is about 92 million miles thick. To put that in perspective, that distance right there is about the distance from the Sun to the Earth. And actually, this distance right here is very important when looking at distance in the solar system. For the distance between the Sun and the Earth is called an astronomical unit, which is equal to 93 million miles. Now, the revolution of the belt itself lasts about 3 to 6 years around the Sun, with some asteroids being more inward in the belt, taking about 3 years to go around the Sun, while those more outward, outside the belt, taking about 6 years to revolve. Now, the first asteroid discovery is a rather interesting one, for you see, the first asteroid ever discovered is still currently the largest asteroid that we have discovered so far, and it's right here in the asteroid belt. Now, this asteroid has been given a name. It is called 1 Ceres. 1 Ceres was discovered in 1801, about the time that the Inner Asteroid Belt was obviously discovered, because this is the first asteroid discovery. I feel like a broken record right now, but you know what? I'm providing the facts. Now then, 1 Ceres is about 578 miles wide, or to give you another perspective, that's about 1/4 of the moon's diameter. And quite frankly, 1 Ceres is given dwarf planet status, like that of Pluto, I'm sure that you remember. Well, I do believe that is all that I have for the Inner Asteroid Belt. A rather interesting region in our solar system indeed. Let's see. What next? What was I going to do? Oh, right! It appears that I have another one of my Cortex challenges for you. Let's see what today's challenge is. Oh, yes. Oh, really? Wow. Right. Quite an interesting one today. I'm sure many of the veterans of this series know that I have taken into detail some planets of mine. Sorry about that. Some space dust getting into me once again. Now then, I'm sure that you remember me talking about the diameter of planets, or the measurements of planets, the weather, how far it is from the sun, etc., etc. Well, I'm putting your imagination to work, for you see, I want you to make up your own planet. Now, here's how to go about doing such a thing. Get a piece of paper about the size of this title card right here, and make a little portfolio on your own planet. And when I say portfolio, I mean sort of like an information sheet. And maybe put a little illustration of your planet right here. Draw a little box in the upper left corner with your planet right here. And talk about it. Talk about the weather. Talk about its size. Does it have any moons? How far is it from its own sun? How far is it from other planets? And all of those sort of things. Does it have an atmosphere? That's very important as well. So, really, all of this space stuff, you'll have to excuse me. You'll have to excuse me. I'm dead serious. My word. But anyhow, let your imagination run wild, as I always say. But until then, it is almost time for me to go. But first, let's see what the computer has to say about our next topic. All right, computer, what do you have for us? Well, quite an interesting one, in fact, for you see, the next time on Dr. Phineas Cortex's spaceship fleet, we are going to be discussing the Kuiper Belt. Another asteroid-filled region of our wonderful, wonderful solar system. Well, I would like to thank you all for tuning in once again to my little series of broadcasts. A big shout out to Tyler for the question of the day. Once again, a really, really good question indeed. And if you're curious as to figuring out if your question will be answered, just put one down below in the comment section if you have one. Who knows? Your question might be answered on the next video. Well, my friends, I bid you ta-ta in 3, 2, 1.